Good evening, my name is Chris Himmelman. This is my Business 400 project. My project was evaluating member satisfaction at Walden. A little bit of background on Walden. Walden is a premier country club located in Aurora, Ohio. In the 1960s, 5 pieces of land were purchased. Those 5 pieces of land now comprise of what Walden is today. Club Walden was built in 1975 and the inn was opened in November 1997. And the senior management at Walden has been there for several decades. So it is run by individuals who have been in the organization for many, many years and who know what the organization is about and their mission. And a little bit about the mission and the vision of Walden. Walden's mission is simply hospitality. Hospitality at every point for the consumer. They're creating an atmosphere for people to come and unwind and relax and provide the highest quality of service in the hospitality industry to both Walden's members and their guests that come to the premises. Walden's vision is that they only look forward to growing and responding to their guests in the future and offering the best hospitality service available. This is why my project was so imperative to the vision of Walden as they move forward in addressing what the concerns are of the members. A little bit of demographic background of Aurora itself. Like I said, Walden's located in Aurora. There are approximately 20,000 people that live in this zip code. Median age is about 45 years old. 51% female, so nicely split between male and female. 88% white. On average, per capita income is $40,527. There's 2.6% of the peoples below poverty line. There are approximately 7,600 households in Aurora, and 47% of the population in Aurora holds a bachelor's degree or higher. A little bit of the analysis of Walden, or my analysis. Some of the strengths, I think that Walden has a beautiful location. It's a beautiful country club in itself, with well-run restaurants and spa, and very friendly staff too. When I went to Walden to visit, honestly, it was amazing how everybody greeted me with a smile and asked me how I was doing, and while I was waiting for Heather to come greet me. Some weaknesses I noticed about Walden. Walden's prices can be a bit more on the expensive side, making it a little bit unaffordable for those who are outside of the price range that Walden demands. Including in this, I think that there's a lack of knowledge about Walden itself. There's not much knowledge about Walden outside of Aurora. I didn't know about it until Dr. Spain presented this project to me. Some of the opportunities Walden has: they have the ability to better themselves as a facility based on member satisfaction, and they have the opportunity to reevaluate the services offered based on member feedback. So this is what my project was entailed with doing. Some of the challenges that Walden faces: they've not sent out a member satisfaction survey in the past 2 years, and their current survey that they had, if they wanted to send that one out, is very out of date. A lot of the services that they offered 2 years ago, they no longer offer, so thus making the survey that they had a little bit antique and out of date. Needed a little bit of updating. So the problem, I've been referencing a little bit throughout my presentation, Walden needed to reevaluate the satisfaction of members at Walden regarding what they felt should be changed at the club and what they liked. Walden also needed to make sure that the mission and vision that they had and that they set out for themselves were still being met, and being met in the eyes of their consumers, their members. So the goals of my project, I was to assess current member satisfaction at Walden, and I was to make sure that the highest level of service was being provided to those members. How I was going to do that? The objective was to create a survey that would evaluate all member satisfaction at Walden. So my methodology, going into a little bit about that. So I was to evaluate the current member satisfaction survey they had. Like I said, they hadn't done a survey in 2 years. I was astounded to see how out of date it was. I was also researching what other industries were doing to evaluate their customer satisfaction. I researched different survey platforms. Currently, Walden uses Constant Contact, not only to send out surveys, but also to keep members informed of what events are going on. So I was researching other survey platforms such as SurveyMonkey to see if those would be something that Walden would be interested in using. I recreated the survey, and I was able to determine an incentive for those who were taking the survey, something to incentivize the members to complete the survey that I sent out to them. And finally, I was to distribute this survey to all the members via email. So alternatives to the solution that I found, there's no real alternatives to a survey when you're looking to evaluate member satisfaction. Surveys are the best way to gain honest feedback from consumers. They're easy, they're simple to execute, and it's relatively simple to analyze the results. The only other alternative that I could think of to use in this situation were to be using focus groups with the current members. However, I don't think that it would be relatively easy to set up in said setting. And you are not going to get as honest a feedback as you would from a survey. A survey provides a little bit of anonymity for the members. I know we asked in the survey for member numbers. However, it does provide a little bit of more honest opinion in using a survey rather than a focus group where you're asking people's opinions right there to their face. So some of the theories that I used in my project, I used Theory Y, developed by Douglas McGregor. I noticed that Walden employees seemed relaxed yet highly focused on the mission and vision, very relating to Theory Y. They were committed to making sure every member and guest were receiving the highest level of service possible. And the employees just really seemed to like working at Walden. It seemed like a fun place to work, seemed like somewhere I would work. So that really, in my mind, rung a bell of it was Theory Y. Another theory I used was the open systems theory. I noticed immediately that Walden is highly influenced by the demographics that surround them in the Aurora area that I talked about earlier in my presentation. So this really just triggered in my mind open systems theory, where the demographics of the surrounding area influences the organization. So the results of my project, we had an incredible response rate after sending out the survey. Within a couple days of sending out the survey, over 200 responses of the approximately 700 members were returned. So far, the responses have been meeting the expectations of Walden employees. There's been no surprises so far. And also, I'm anticipating reviewing and analyzing these responses after the survey closes to provide more meaningful feedback. Unfortunately, not enough surveys were collected in time to provide enough feedback for this presentation. So in conclusion, Walden is still a thriving provider of extraordinary hospitality service. Survey is the best way to gain honest opinions of satisfaction, so that's why we chose to go with this method when evaluating member satisfaction at Walden. And the members seem to still be satisfied with the service they're receiving at Walden, but further analysis is required. Thank you, and before we get into any questions, I'd like to first hand the floor over to Heather Toman, who's going to explain a little bit more about the mission and vision of Walden and what was needed on my end and what I ended up delivering on.
As for the project that you assisted us with was our member engagement survey. We haven't done a survey in 2 years, so we really appreciated the input that you were able to provide for us in updating just the ways that we asked basic questions, maybe changing some of the wording to get a better response from the members. We felt what you did for us was very successful in the sense that we have about 700 members, and within a couple of days, 200 had returned the survey right away. And as for the mission and vision of Walden, our mission is hospitality. I would recommend going to our website and visiting. We are just here to create an atmosphere for people to be able to come and unwind and relax. And our mission is always to provide the highest quality of service in the hospitality industry to both our members and our guests. And we just look forward to growing and responding to our guests in the future and offering them the best hospitality service that we have to offer.
Thank you, Heather, and now I'd like to open the floor for any questions.